The next tab in the ticket window here is the measurements tab, which what this does is it shows all of the driver entered inputs at both the pickup and the drop-off locations. So these are completely dependent on the commodity type that the driver is transporting. In this case, we can go back and see that our driver was transporting metered oil. And for this company, the metered oil measurements are as follows: start meter, stop meter, seal off, time off, etc. As we go down here. You'll notice that if the measurement was filled out, you have a little green checkbox right here. If it's got the little gray minus sign right here, then it was not necessarily filled out, which a lot of these are kind of optional fields. It looks like there was no mask up or chain of events, so they didn't have to write any notes about it. But you can see in here that those with the yellow asterisk right here have validation on them. There's a minimum and a maximum value that they have to go through. So obviously your temperature is going to be somewhere between -40 and 220. If it's anywhere out of that, that's not a valid input. So it has to be in there. And as you scroll through here, you can see some of these don't have you don't have the edit ability, because in this case these are photos that the driver took, so it's not something you can really kind of replicate for them. But some of the other ones do have the blue checkbox next to them that lets you edit them. So if I wanted to go in here and change one of these properties, I could come in here and change the value here. And if I fall way outside of this range, so if we say we're 8,000 or something, it's going to say, hey, failed to save. That's just not a valid thing in there. So we'll go ahead and change it to 82.1 in this case. Click enter. And after changing it, you can see that the original value of 82 has been saved. So you can always refer back and change it back to whatever the driver put in originally. So they put in 82. I changed it to 82.1. But yeah, so you have all these different edits in here. You can see down here that you have also the ability to do a mass edit. So if I click on the mass edit, it's going to open up a window where you can kind of, rather than having to click through each one and open up the little text entry and then click enter, you could go into mass edit where you can just edit everything directly and then click save at the bottom. If you were kind of doing these completely from scratch, this is probably a good way to go if you need to fill out everything. If you're making just one or two corrections, it's probably easier to not come into this window, but it does support the mass edit there. So yeah, so that's the measurements window here in the or the measurements tab in the job window or the ticket window.